All right, away we go on a Monday podcast, post-game podcast. I want to call it the warm-up show. It's the post-game podcast. Al, what up on this Monday?
Good morning there, Jerry.
Yeah.
Yesterday, every once in a while, I live in Bradley Beach. I'm happy in Bradley Beach, but I still like to look at things that are for sale online.
Oh, realty?
Yeah, I like to look at realty. Because part of me, sometimes I'm like, maybe I want to have more land and a house versus a condo where you have to pay monthly maintenance fees and HOA crap and all that stuff. I just go back and forth with it.
Yep.
That's all. So occasionally when I see something that looks interesting, I'll go to an open house.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
That's actually a fun thing to do when you've got nothing going on a weekend.
Yeah.
Like, why not?
Why not? But yesterday Gina and I went to one. There was one, it was a decent amount of land.
What town?
It was in Wall, New Jersey.
Okay.
Just right. It was 10 minutes from where I live.
I was going to say probably even closer to the Parkway for you.
Yeah, it was right there. It was right off a major road, but it was in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
And then just this.
Sounds lovely.
It just looked interesting.
Okay.
So I went there, and as soon as I go in, this guy goes, "Al Dukes?
Oh, geez.
What are you doing here? Don't you have a? I thought you lived by the beach in Bradley."
Right.
I'm like, yes, no, but I said I like to go to interesting looking open houses, and that's all. But it was so I felt a little awkward, like maybe I shouldn't be here.
No, there's nothing wrong with it, because what if something grabbed your attention and you actually thought maybe I will make an offer?
It also reminded me that no matter how many times, and people who have gone looking for houses over their lives, no matter how many times we've gone through the experience, we still fall for that place looks really cool. Let's go see it. And then it doesn't look like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No matter how many times.
And I don't understand why you set this expectation of something with, some realtor. I imagine it's the realtors that suggest you do this.
Yeah.
That you take these photos and then they make them look better than it is. All you're doing is setting up potential buyers for, rejection. This is it.
Yeah.
And you're looking at the photo. This is not what the photo looks like. I agree with you.
Yeah, the only time, so when I ended up in the condo I'm in now, what happened was it was a beautiful day. We went to this place.
Right.
It was a beautiful day. And when I opened the door, all the windows were open and the ocean was there.
Yeah.
So that was like the opposite effect.
How
I was
nice
like,
is
man,
that?
I must be here.
Right,
now, you
right.
don't forget that 9 out of 12 months out of the year is just gray dredge.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
it's like what you say. Don't go look at realty in Seattle in the summer.
Yeah.
You might think, well, this is really nice here.
Yeah. That's why you got to sell if you live down the shore or anywhere, you got to sell actually they say around now, spring, you got a nice spring day for an open house.
For that reason, and also the fact to get settled for the kids in time for school is what they will tell you is a big deal.
True. Yeah.
So what are you thinking? I know you love the idea of a yard and some land. Is it something you are actually contemplating?
I don't know.
Because I would think, if I were you, I would actually, and I know it's dicey, but I really would contemplate the whole renting the place out in the summer. You make a lot of money.
Yeah, but the other thing, I don't know. See, the different condo rules. So because it's not my house, it's a condo.
Mm-hmm.
My condo association, I can't.
Oh, you're not allowed?
Rent unless I'm renting to you for 6 months.
Got it.
So I could rent a year-round rental, which I could get. But what these places all like to do is you rent down the Jersey Shore. They'll rent their houses out in the winter and the summer. It's two different prices.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you got to kind of take that 12 months of what you would make if you rented only out in the winter and kind of measure it up.
Then again, if you're going to do it, what's the point of even having it? I was going to say, could you buy a home that's got a bigger yard and then you be the tenant from September to February and rent it out March through August, where you would get a lot of money for it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I think I'd be a terrible landlord anyway.
Oh, I agree. It's hard. There's nothing easy about it.
Yeah, I don't want any part of that, I feel like.
Fair enough. So are you really contemplating?
No, I don't know. I just like to look what's out there.
Got it.
So, no, I have really made no decisions.
It's good to get out and look, though. I do believe. I agree with that.
I've also, since I made such a poor decision on getting a dog, I'm trusting zero of my decisions. So the chance that I actually make a decision on anything for the rest of my life is probably very little.
So you're basically going to die in that condo.
Having made the same decisions because I'm making no more decisions and I don't trust my decision-making ability anymore.
Oh, man. The only mistake you've made has been, and I don't even call it a mistake because you love the dog, but it was not the right time. You don't have the right job for the dog.
I don't have the right hours and I don't have a yard.
Correct.
Those are two.
But that having
big
been
things.
said, you didn't make a mistake in Mattawan. You didn't make a mistake in going down to Bradley Beach. You love it down there. The car situation has been pretty good aside from buying the orange one, which you rectified after. Like, what bad decisions have you really made?
Yeah.
Other than the dog.
Yeah, that one.
That's about it, though.
Yeah, but it's a
game changer.
10-year mistake.
Oh, it is.
It's a 10-year mistake.
It is. I know. That is true.
The positive is she does force me to walk, which I know is healthy for people.
No, it's a good thing, yeah.
You have to get out and walk, and I certainly would not be getting out and walking in the rain, in the cold, that sort of thing.
All right, and you're forced to.
And I'm forced to, yeah.
That does suck, though. Like, the one thing, I tell you this all the time, whenever we have these monster storms or the wind or the snow or when it's 8 degrees, I'm like, and he's got to go walk the dog?
Yeah.
Multiple times?
Yeah.
Oh.
You also, I think we do underestimate until you live there, because I was told this, but I didn't think it was a thing until I actually lived there, is that the Jersey Shore in the winter
Depressing.
is depressing.
I agree. So we used to have, a friend of mine used to have a house, his parents had a house in Long Beach Island, and that's where I spent a lot of summers because of that. There would be some times when we started driving, my junior year of high school, we would go down there in the winter, and all the traffic lights are just blinking. Most of the businesses are closed. It's gray out. It's cold. It's just sad. And then my cousins, who have their best friends, own a beautiful house right on the beach in Manasquan. It's like one of these 8-bedroom, I don't even want to call it a house. It's just awesome. So they will come down sometimes in the spring, sometimes in the fall. One time, because of a family event that was in Brooklyn, they came down and spent a week in, I think it was February. And so when they come in, we go down and we always spend as much time with them as we can. Same thing. Like, ugh, it's sad.
Yeah, it's sad because it's just cloudy and everything's like nothing's maintained, right? So the property along the beaches, like the plants, the shrubbery, all dead.
Mm-hmm.
There's, the genius people that live near there have recycling containers with no lids on them, so that when it's windy, which is every day,
crap's everywhere,
and it doesn't get cleaned up because it's like, the tourists aren't here yet. It's not nice weather. Now, when it becomes nice weather, it gets
full of life.
Up. Yeah, full of life. It gets cleaned up. It's beautiful.
Yeah, that's the other part of it. When we talk about blinking, like most of the people are gone.
Yeah, a lot of the people are gone.
It's just
So it's a little strange. So I don't know. I kind of go back and forth with that sometimes.
Yeah, no, I get it. But you're also at least having this conversation at the end of March. You're that close to the weather really turning the corner and having that life surrounding you again.
Correct. Yeah, because when you're in the winter, you can't, like, I'll be outside and be like, I cannot imagine this place is going to be filled with people running around in bathing suits. And then when I'm in the summer, I'm like, I can't imagine that there's no one's going to be here. This parking lot's going to be empty.
Dead empty.
Yeah, very strange.
It is.
Very strange. What else do I have here, Jerry? I saw a very disturbing news article that said 23andMe is
I don't like the way this is starting.
Yeah, is like going out of business.
Really?
Or they like need to find a buyer.
Well,
what if they sell it to like China?
How are we going to vet the buyer?
I don't know.
Uh-oh.
This is the concern. They got all of our DNA. China, Jerry, they could just buy it up and then they can make a whole army full of me to attack our country. Or
boy.
Russia can buy it.
Well, this isn't
any of our enemies, Jerry.
This is concerning.
It is concerning.
This is not good.
Yeah, shouldn't they have to destroy those?
I would think so. Yes.
Those spit things.
Yes.
Not only that, they have all of our information.
Yeah, I know.
You know these companies, these tech companies, love to get our information.
I bet. So it almost seems monthly that I get a notification of a breach of confidentiality, or one of these things where there was a hack, or I don't even pay attention to it anymore. I don't know what you're like. Hey, you can get free security by signing up to. No, I'm done. I'm not signing up for anything else. I already have LifeLock. It is what it is. The one that's scary is when they say we've noticed activity using your son's name. I'm like, oh my god, on the dark web. Like, what the hell is that now? It's scary.
Right, and you don't know if it's real or not.
I don't know if it's real. I don't know what's real, what's fake anymore. I got an email from Amazon. Al, I am telling you, this was the most real-looking Amazon thing I'd ever seen. And the email address was, I don't know how these people do it. And it took me a minute to, it was about, and my birthday was last week. So I know Kim shops online. And a lot of times, depending upon what account she uses to shop on Amazon, I will get a notification that something was bought. That it wasn't me, it was one of them. So I got a notification just last week, right around, might have even actually been on my birthday, that item was out. I forget, it was something like the item is out for shipping, but there will be a significant delay, something like that. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I never saw that, but okay. So it looked right. I open up the email. Everything looks perfect. I'm even looking, and I always hit for more information to see the email address it came from. Sometimes it's usually, Joey Two-Tone123 at AOL.com. This was like customer service at Amazon.com. But upon really looking at it, I blew it up on my phone because it didn't look quite right. The O in Amazon was a 0. And the only reason I even looked at it was because they wanted me to click a specific button to get the shipping back on track. I'm like, that doesn't look right. But it almost got me.
Yeah.
Everything's a scam.
Everything's a scam.
Everyone's
and now
trying to steal our stuff.
They're going to have all of our DNA, Jerry.
I know. God damn.
Yeah, I don't need that. I don't want that.
Especially since I never, ever intended on doing that. And I only did it for our stupid live show.
Yes. I put out a quote tweeted somebody today, Jerry, and then
Ben Stiller.
No, Ben Stiller. Loser.
I don't know. It was the first name that came to mind.
It was a thing. A guy wrote this, a guy named Jason Helms. I don't know who that is.
Okay.
He's a fitness guy. And he wrote, "We should legalize weed. Here's what you thought would happen. People would be able to buy weed legally that's been quality tested, and they could have a toke in their homes on Friday nights. So you voted yes. Here's what actually happened. People vaping 90% concentrate while driving, smoke billowing out of cars at every red light, constant smell 24/7 walking around any downtown area.
Yep.
Your kids asking, what is that smell nonstop?
Yep.
Millions of people high all day long with zero ambition. Mental health problems skyrocketing everywhere. Huge mistake." So I put that out there. Of course, all the weed people are
killing you.
What about alcohol? Blah, blah, blah. Yes, alcohol also terrible. But we have like a game plan in place for if a police officer smells alcohol near your car and you're parked.
Yeah.
If an officer smells weed in your car and you're parked sitting in it, if they see you having a beer in your car, not driving, parked in your car, that's drunk driving. There isn't anything for weed. So weed people just drive around weeded out all day long.
So I have a friend of mine who's a cop.
Yeah.
I was actually texting with him before about something.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask him now.
Yeah.
In the town he's in, if there are any laws for smoking weed and driving. Is that fair?
Yeah, like in order for somebody to be pulled over for weed, what are the circumstances that need to occur?
Okay.
Because from what I have heard, it's like a million things. Like you're allowed to have weed in your car.
Yeah.
You're allowed to have you can't have an open beer in your car.
No, but you can have a can of beer full. That's
right, but you can have an open weed in your car, just sitting there. Every car down by where I live, everybody smells like weed.
Oh, it's all over the place.
Apartments, homes, the beach, everywhere is weed. And if you're drinking beers, it's not affecting me.
Yeah.
I don't have to smell your beers.
No, it doesn't waft
difference.
like the weed does.
Yeah.
And if you're following a car and people are, it's like all of a sudden in your car
on the highway.
Yeah, no question.
It's very bizarre.
No question.
So the weed people are, as you might imagine,
upset with you.
Upset with me.
Yeah.
They're like, what about alcohol? No, I understand alcohol, but I just feel like we have a clear game plan in place for alcohol. You can't have it open in your car. You can't be drinking a beer
For sure.
while your car is parked sitting in the passenger seat. That's not allowed.
Yeah.
But you can do all that with weed.
A lot of gray area with the weed.
And the cops are not allowed to do anything.
Yeah. I'm waiting for me. Hopefully, before we finish this, I'll have an answer. He's usually pretty good, unless he's arresting somebody.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I'll have an answer for you.
I hope he's
before we're
arresting
done.
somebody, Jerry.
If not, I will update this tomorrow.
Then there's another controversial topic and things going around that I would like to get your opinion on as well, Jerry. There's a government program called SNAP.
Okay.
It stands for Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program.
Yeah.
This is to help people that need money for groceries and things like that. And it says, this is from the SNAP website themselves.
Sure. Remind me, say Walgreens when we're done with this conversation.
It says SNAP provides food benefits to low-income families to supplement their grocery budget for this reason. Ready? So they can afford the nutritious food essential to health and well-being.
Well, that's false.
Right. So the big argument going on now is there are people that don't want SNAP to pay for soda and very poor nutritional food. And the pushback is people are allowed to choose what they eat.
Mm-hmm.
And the other argument is they are, but if the taxpayers are paying for it and the reason is for nutritious food, then it shouldn't be on the list. Where you fall on this one, Jerry?
Well, I never heard it described as such. I always thought it was for low-income families to be able to provide food for their children.
Right.
And for their families so they don't go starving. Sadly, and we've talked about this, most cheap food is not good food. That's just the reality of the situation. I don't know if I was in the situation of, let's say, can't make my bills, struggling to, especially now, food's even more expensive than ever. I can't tell you that I wouldn't go buy bagged cereal that's going to feed my kids as opposed to buying 2 dozen eggs that are going to cost me more money. Because they have those 2-pound bag. Have you ever seen the bag cereals in the supermarkets?
Yeah.
Like you get a gigantic, and it's crap. Don't get me wrong, but kids eat crap. I don't know if I had no money if I'm going to choose the bag of crappy cereal that might last the entire week as opposed to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The more expensive food. Conversely, it's why things like rice and beans are bought more often than not, because rice is it's not nutritious, I know that, but it's filling and it at least keeps you alive.
They do eat it on Survivor a lot, and I feel like when they have no food, they do eat rice.
Yeah. Well, because I don't know this, but I know rice is cheap.
Yeah.
Rice is very cheap.
I'm saying it must provide some sort of nutrition.
It has to give you something, I guess. But then again, they're eating anything they can to fuel the body. So I think, here's what I think. In a perfect world, but then it wouldn't be fair to the people that have the money. In a perfect world, if you have the SNAP card, maybe there is a SNAP aisle of what you can buy. But now you're taking, I don't know. Thankfully, I've never been in the position where I can't go to the supermarket, or I've never been in a situation where we have to decide on which meal we're skipping because we don't have the money to feed the kids. I don't know. What I will tell you, though, is, and this is very much relatable to this, I was at Walgreens about 3 or 4 months ago, and a woman had a SNAP card, and she had toilet paper, she had all essential stuff, and then asked for a carton of cigarettes, and almost got into a fist fight with the girl behind the counter because she would not, like, I can't give you cigarettes with this. Like, that you have to pay for. And the woman just wouldn't stop, and she ultimately just left everything on the counter and left. Like, things like that are absurd.
Yeah.
But it's a really difficult, it's one of those things. Walk a mile in my shoes before you're going to yell at me. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it would depend because, it makes sense. You go, yeah, you know what? Soda, there's no redeeming value for soda. Let's get it off the list. And it's like, okay, you mentioned the cereal. Okay, so then, there are so many things that you could argue this is terrible for you in the long run. Then
I don't like the soda one because, quite frankly, you should be drinking water.
Yeah, the other problem is what they're finding out, people who have been investigating this stuff, is that the soda companies are the ones pushing for for soda to stay on the list.
Of course they are.
And that a huge portion, supposedly, of the soda companies' money comes from the government and some of these programs are
Really?
feeding it. Yeah, the whole thing's nuts.
Well, what we say, life is a scam.
Everything's a scam, Jerry.
It's really sad. The more it's why it's almost better being ignorant to everything.
Yes.
Because the more
Yes, it
you
is.
dig, the more crap that you find out that's going on.
Yeah.
It really is. It's the sad reality of everything.
I know everything. I feel like everything is a scam. And that everything's being funded by like the worst companies and the worst people.
And why are they funding it? To make more money.
To make more money, yes.
Like it's the one thing I wish when I was, 9 or 10 years old, a teacher would have stood up and said, everything you learn, bullshit.
Right.
Here's what life is about. Money.
Right.
Life is about money.
Question everything when profit is involved.
Yeah. Honestly, the church, without money, they can't exist. A hospital, they'll turn you aside if you don't have insurance. They're not going to take care of you if you have no money.
Right.
And I know they say they do, I guess, in some cases. But I will tell you, I've got some medical bills. They send me to collection if I don't pay in full in 30 days. Like,
I question every single thing. Like, if you go to the doctor and the doctor says, you have this, you should go on this medication.
Is he on the take from that pharmaceutical?
Right.
It's everything is money.
Why are you choosing
Everything.
that medicine over this medicine or
Yeah.
over this? Instead of telling me to take this medicine, what you haven't asked me once, what am I eating? What is my exercise program?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
It's so true. And I'm not saying, listen, doctors are great. We need them. I'm not saying we don't. But I do agree with you that you do, have one of those quizzical minds of, do I really need this? Or are you being told you should give it to me?
Right.
I don't know. It sucks.
It does suck.
The more I think I have an answer for you, by the way. My phone's going
Oh,
off.
about the
all right?
weed, if you're a cop and the weed.
Yes, this is my buddy who is, oh, yeah.
Weed.
He says it's the same as a DWI for them. So if they pull you over and you're smoking weed, or they think you're smoking weed, you get a DWI.
Ask him about if someone is smoking weed in a parked car.
Okay. What about, right, because you can't drink
You can't have a beer in your parked car.
weed in a parked car. That's an interesting one.
Yes.
And don't worry, I'm not going to say your name.
You weed people.
Weed.
Weed.
Exactly.
I'm just sick of every town smelling like weed everywhere I go. I said, I don't want to smell your weed.
You know where it was really bad? Not a shock. Seattle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Seattle was
City like that.
just everywhere.
My goodness.
Like
yeah.
I almost smelt it in the hotel.
Yeah. It's everywhere.
Yeah. No, it is everywhere.
I can't walk my dog in town without smelling weed.
Oh, I believe that.
And that's not even in the summer.
I believe that. Right, when there's no one
Winter.
around. It's so
Car
so
drives
true.
by, smells like weed. Try going to Asbury Park. Good luck. That's all weed.
Is it really?
Oh, yeah.
New
it's
York
like
was
Seattle.
bad too when we came into the city
Yeah.
for that dinner in the show a couple of weeks ago. Anywhere you turned and walked, it was just up in your face.
Right. Oh, I want to get an Uber or a Lyft. Doo-doo-doo. Guy shows up. Smells like weed.
Yeah, the cars do.
Fuck.
Yeah, absolutely. It's disgusting
Your
too, especially,
weed.
and it's weird because I don't want to give them a bad review, especially if they're a good
It's like,
driver.
my driver's smoking
But
weed.
come on, man! Like, can I get in a car that actually smells like a new car and not like ass?
Right.
Like, I might not get this answer for you
No,
before
right.
we're done. I'm sorry.
All right, Jerry, let's do the warm-up show. I did that with CeeLo. Now, are you back tomorrow? We don't know what's
I
going
have
on. Boomer
no
Esiason.
idea. Where's Boomer? I don't know.
I don't know.
You think he'll be done with his jury duty? I say yes. I think he'll be back tomorrow.
I think he will as well.
I do.
I wonder if he'll pull this move, though. He's done with jury duty, but he
Right.
tells us he's got one more day.
For an extra day
Yeah,
off.
getting a little extra day. A little,
Supposed to be nice tomorrow.
A little extra Tuesday off for the booms. All right. So.